Through the miracle of technology, we're going via Zoom to a place called Butler, which is about 40 minutes, I think it's north of Perth, to catch up with a man called Jason Nelson. Now, I'll give you a bit of background about Jason. He's a workplace trainer and assessor, over 14 years experience, and he's specialised in mental illness and wellness. Jason, long intro, but I think I nailed you. I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, I think you do. Pinpointed.
That's fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
I should note, and we should make it very clear, that you've had a pretty varied career, taking us back to the Navy. You were part of the Royal Navy, in fact, a veteran of the Royal Navy, and you'd be able to tell us quite a few stories, would you not?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Former UK and Western Australian police officer, and you've also had quite a career in the public sector. I should ask you, let's start. Is there anything you haven't done?
I often joke with friends and family that I am a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Um, but no, I've been really lucky, to be honest with you. Those careers have certainly helped me become the person I am today, and I'm pretty grateful for all of those experiences, good and bad, and I've learned from all of them.
Yeah, that's a terrific attitude, and I think, as we've said so many times on The Informer, attitude is key, especially if you want really good results. If you have the right attitude, there is so much we can do rather than put up a little blanket obstacle in our minds and say, no, I'm not up to it. If we are up to it, we can do it. And that positive mindset is such a great first step, isn't it?
Yeah, and you just brought a great analogy into my mind, and it was a brilliant segue, George. You've obviously done this before.
Just once.
In that steps, you think about small children when they're learning to walk. It doesn't matter how many times they fall over and whether they hurt themselves in the process. We're always, as parents and as adults, we're always praising them for continuing to get back up and take that next step. Whereas as adults, we've learned, or as a society, we've learned to shift it to a negative mindset, and we only seem to remember our last mistake, not our last great step. And that's what I really like to focus on in my mindset through my own learned and lived experience, and which I now teach other people.
Now, you do an awful lot of teaching, and in fact, you've got a speakers special coming up, have you not? Or you're organising one in Perth?
Yeah, I'm a mental health lived experience speaking coach. So the last few months I've been coaching 6 amazing gentlemen into how to share their lived experience stories using trauma-informed and strengths-based language. So that event, that showcases on the 15th of April here in Perth. Yeah, so it's going to be really exciting because
if people want to get along, Jason, how do they get included?
They can simply follow me on LinkedIn, and also those details will be going up on my actual website today. So people can keep an eye out, and as soon as ticketing is up and live, then they can jump on board.
Now, you said 6 men. No women?
This round was particularly interesting, that when I put out the opportunity for people to come and speak, I attracted predominantly men from a fly-in, fly-out background, resources industry background, which was really interesting considering similar to policing and military, the fly-in, fly-out industry is largely male dominated.
We should also explain it's a very different way to work, isn't it? When you work, there is no Saturday and Sunday. You work right through, and then when you finish your stint, you have a break, correct?
Yeah, and the on and off swings of working away often have a detrimental effect, not just to them working away in an isolation, often in really hot environments, but also they have that similar effect to families too.
Well, what you're providing for each and every one of them, I suppose, are giving them the tools, the basic mental steps that they need to initiate in order to get through these little moments of doubt, these moments that we talk about clarity in broadcasting, and yet so much of the time we spend our time putting up obstacles. What is it? Is it the fact that in this modern world of ours, things are so tough, we're so competitive, we've forgotten to praise and acknowledge and thank people for starting a good week and keeping up the energy?
Absolutely. We've shifted from this on-demand lifestyle where everything's got to be faster, quicker. Yet we've forgotten the emotional intelligence that should be brought along with that experience of life. And we don't normally start reflecting on that until something's happened in a reactive way. We're not very proactive about that as a community, and that's what I'm trying to change.
Yeah, you are proactive because you've also been a part of a number of major conferences, not only here but across the country, across the world. How has that been received? And what do you put in your mind when you prepare yourself for a big gig, so to speak? There's so much anxiety, I suppose, nerves. What do you say to yourself to as they say, hit the microphone or hit the stage running?
Exactly that. You go through that whole nervous process of getting ready and building yourself up and practice. But my shift and my mindset when I'm speaking and when I'm coaching speakers is that it's always about the audience. It's never about us, regardless of what we're sharing. Because my aim, and I literally was just having this conversation with one of my clients this morning, was to actually say to you, try and imagine getting at least one person in that audience to leave with a message of hope, to leave and go, because of what I've heard today, I'm going to go and help someone. That's what I'm trying to shift in a cultural mindset around mental health issues.
Look, I think it's a tremendous thing that you're doing. More power to you. Please, once again, just before we wrap this up, give us the dates of this very special speaker opportunity. It's coming up when?
15th of April, between 11 and 2 p.m. at the Quest Hotel Apartments in East Perth. And the event theme is called Through Struggle Comes Strength. And it's about stories of resilience.
Now, you mentioned just a moment ago how you always strive to get people thinking, let's get one person across the line. Let's reach one person. My view always has been, when you speak, it should be to one. It should never be to 1 million or 100,000 or 10 or 15. It's always to one. And I think if you do the one, mark my words, it'll spread, and there'll be many more in the room, all knowing, going, yes, Jason, we understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely, George. A famous quote from Desmond Tutu comes to mind, and that is, we get to a point we've got to stop pulling the people out of the river and go upstream and find out why they're falling in. And I agree with you. If we can speak to that one person to find out why they may be falling in or why a friend might be falling in, then we've done our job.
Absolutely. Wish you all the best. Thank you once again for joining us on The Informer. Jason Nelson is the man. If you want to know more, he's available on LinkedIn. The best address is Jason Nelson.
Just look me up at LinkedIn, Jason Nelson. My website is called Jnana Alchemy, which is Jnana.
You don't make anything easy, do you?
No, I don't.
Listen, you know what I think? I think you need a butler.
Maybe I'm living in the right place, apparently.
Well, think positive. Anything is possible.
I'm putting it on my vision board right now, George Butler.
Jason Nelson, a treat to catch up, mate. Thank you so very much for joining us and for giving us some things to hold on to, because mental health has been under enormous pressure, especially over the last year. And it's not just been here, it's not just been in Butler, it's been all over the world. And I think the messages that you've given us to hold on to are most precious. Thank you so much.
Thanks, George. My pleasure.